Okay, I realized that after all the publicity and everything going on right now with strongman, I figured it was time for me to make a video and kind of show everyone where I'm at, how I'm feeling about this. It's a lot. It's gonna be hard to put it all together and not be emotional or biased about what I'm trying to say, but I'll do my best and try and give you guys an understanding of how it works behind the scenes in our sport. Right now, there's a lot of talk about Thor doing the world record deadlift. I have to admit, like when it first happened, when I first got the letter and everything, I was excited. I was like, oh, it's awesome. I mean, we're all in lockdown. You know, it'd be great to have something to watch. You know, I was excited at first. Of course, Magnus is the referee, and if there's a referee out there you can trust, it's him. But I watched Brian Shaw's video, which I encourage everybody, if you're curious as to the inner workings of strongman and you want to know from who I consider the smartest man in strongman by far, someone who's dedicated to the sport in more ways than you can understand, it's Brian Shaw. There's been many times on the road where we've had late night meetings on a bus or in a restaurant in a foreign country, and it was a group of strongmen who were begging Brian Shaw to represent us, to kind of be the go-between from athletes to promoters, and to keep the sport pure. I'll back up even further. I've been doing this. I've been a professional strongman for almost 10 years now. Coming out in the sport, it was the Wild West. I mean, it's still, parts of it are. And, you know, like you would have records for this and that. And if you watch Brian's video, he goes through the deadlift record. What I can explain to you from my personal experience about the log press record, Z and I were pushing it, and Christoph Razakowski came in to push, and you know, and then we worked down the line, and here we are now, where I spoke to Luke Stoltman. Luke Stoltman is supposed to do the log press world record, and I spoke to him, and Luke's a good guy. I love him, you know, and he said that he would never consider it an actual world record. To him, it's putting on a good show, and it's you know, just showing he's worked his ass off. He deserves to, you know, the only flex we actually get as strongmen is actual flexing, you know, like we don't bust our ass and then get a new car, you know, we bust our ass and then we show you how strong we are. So I totally get where Thor's coming from. I totally get where the Stoltmans are coming from. I totally understand that. Like you busted your ass, and then they snatched up World's Ultimate Strongman. They snatched up World's Strongest Man, and it's just gone. That's just not happening right now. We don't have any guarantees that we are going to get to actually do these things. So I understand that you've busted your ass and you want to work. I understand that. But it's different. There's, in strongman, with records before, when I was chasing, there was always a discussion as to what log we were going to use, as to, you know, what weights we were going to jump. All these things affect you when you're pressing. When you're, it's hard not to get like emotionally invested. When I first broke the American log press record, it was in Australia, and we were competing in Arnold Schwarzenegger's competition. I'm sorry, the fan came on, deal with it. Sorry guys. We're doing Arnold Schwarzenegger strongman competition in Australia, and that particular log, we were all having issues with cleaning it. Everybody was having an issue. And Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall, all the best strength pressers, Christoph Razakowski was there. We were all there. We were all in line and on time, and I was the best presser. I was the one who got the log up. I was the one who pressed it. I was the man that day. That was mine. And I earned that because every other person got to step up to the plate and take a swing. It's not who's the strongest when they're in their gym. It's not who's the best when they're alone and, you know, all the things are right and my weights, my judge, my log, my this. That's not how it works. And I don't think that Thor came out to do it that way. That's not what he's doing. Hey, congratulations, Thor, on the baby boy, all of that. I know you're watching this, and I know you're not doing this out of trying to cheat anyone of anything. Right now, you, Thor, you're the strongest deadlifter in the world. I full-heartedly believe it. And I believe that you can pull 501. I believe it. I just don't think you should right now. I don't think you should. It's a big ask. It's hard to even put it out there because I know everybody's going through so much. Like, we're stuck at home. I can't make money. I'm worried about bills. I'm sure Thor's worried about like keeping the momentum going and getting this deadlift out of the way so it doesn't come back around in 6 months and bite him in the ass, all that. I understand that. I get it. It doesn't mean that we get to negate the rules of combat. The rules of strongman, the rules of competition, they're in place for a reason. And I mean, there's been many times where I've broken records in training. When I was building up for the log press and I was chasing Z and we were going back and forth, and even right now, in this moment, right now, I've broken the record in training. Just did. It happens. I've done it out of the rack and I've done it off the floor. And you want other examples right now in the log press. Big Bibby is in Africa and he's got a video you can watch him pressing the world record. Doesn't mean that that's a world record. There's video right now of Rob Kearney pushing the American record. Rob Kearney took my American record. I want that record back more than anything. But that doesn't mean I get to line up and do a log press in here, put it on the internet and tell Rob that I took his record. It's not how it works. This is strongman. All that aside, I know how important this feels to a lot of people. And I know that we're all stuck at home and it'd be great to see something, and it's for any lifter like Thor right now, I'll just focus on Thor. And for any lifter to be in a position where they can pull the heaviest weight from the floor that's ever been pulled, for any lifter to be the strongest man on the planet at any given time, I'd want to show it off too, man. I would. And it would be a gut check for me not to actually do the big presentation and call it a world record and muddy the waters. It would be a gut check to do that. But I'd have to say no. It's for the sport, man. And I know you love this sport. I know you do. I know the Stoltman brothers do. And you're good people. And I know that words are going back and forth between Eddie and Thor, and that's on them, man. I'm friends with both guys. I sit in the middle, and I'm not gonna pick a side. I'm choosing the sport. If we're divided up and there's Eddie's camp and Thor's camp, well, I'm in the strongman camp. I'm in the middle, and I think that we need to make sure that we are smart right now. If we, as Brian said, we open up Pandora's box, how are we gonna get back? How are we ever gonna get back to big arena pulls being something when you can just go in your home gym and destroy that record? The idea of being in competition is necessary. It's mandatory. Other people have a right to pull. Other people have a right to press and to compete. Other people should get that same chance that you're all getting. Other people should be in there with that same equipment, with that same referee, in that same situation. That's the rules of the game. If you want to do it and you want to make a big presentation of it and all that stuff, I totally get that. But for me, it's not a world record. It's not. And it's a shame. It's a shame that it's at this point where we're in danger of losing some credibility. When I first got into sport, it was like parking lots and explaining to people that I didn't like strap my testicles to a truck or pull it with my teeth. Strongman, in the 10 years that I've been breaking my back, trying to carry this sport into bigger and better arenas and in front of more eyes. In those 10 years, we've come a long way. We've come from being split into two different groups and not even having the best in the world competing against each other to where we finally now are unified, competitive, and we know who the best is. We have to stand together. We have to. We can't let the sport just fall by the wayside just because we're bored, because we want to compete. We're all in this. All the Olympic athletes are sitting at home right now. Even Dana White got shut down. It's time to sit this one out.